I'm Susan. I love to teach, I love to cook, so let's get going. Oh, and don't ever be afraid to cook. Welcome to my cooking space, the hot stock pot. Let's pick a recipe. Oh, mini puff pastry cheese Danishes. Yum! First, we're going to separate our eggs. We do this very carefully. I did it. Success. In this case, we don't need the egg whites, so we can discard them. The next thing we're going to do is make the filling for our pastries. So what we do is we take an 8-ounce block of cream cheese and we just cut it up a little bit, just so that it's not one big huge chunk. It's easier for the mixer to handle, like that. It's been at room temperature. It's been softening for a couple hours. Make sure to get it all. All right, then we add a 1/4 cup of sugar, and we add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and then we add 1 teaspoon of real vanilla. So now we have our cream cheese, our sugar, our vanilla, and our flour, and we're going to mix it with a hand mixer until it's nice and creamy. So we want to mix it till it's nice and soft and all mixed in. Then we add the 1 egg yolk. Dad, burn it, there's a shell in here. Okay, so we add the egg yolk without the shell. You don't want the shell. No shell. Too crunchy. And then we use the hand mixer again to incorporate the egg yolk. Not the shell. No shell. Never any shells. Shells are bad. This is very therapeutic. Just creating a nice, soft filling. While we're at it with the egg yolks, and this one doesn't have any shells, I promise, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of water to this one lonely egg yolk and whip it. And this is what's known as an egg wash. 1 egg yolk and 1 tablespoon of water. See that? Now we're going to save that for later. But this is good for the, making like a shiny topping on pastries and also holding pieces of pastry together, which is what we're going to use it for. So we'll just make it like that and set it aside. All right, now comes the interesting part of dealing with the puff pastry. So we're going to roll it out a little bit and cut each sheet. So the box of pastry comes with 2 sheets of pastry. We're going to roll each one out a little bit to enlarge it and cut each piece into 9 separate pieces. So at the end of all of this, we're going to have 18 little pastries. All right, so we're going to start working with the pastry now. It comes in 2 sheets. We're going to put a little flour on the cutting board so it doesn't stick and lay it out like this. And then we're just going to roll it so that it gets a little bigger and wider, longer and wider, so that we can get 9 good sized pieces out of this. So we do this for each sheet. You have to be careful because it's very delicate, this pastry dough. You don't want to press too hard. It usually takes about 20 minutes to a half an hour for the dough to defrost. So if you're planning to bake with this pastry, these pastry sheets, you really need to think ahead and get your pastry sheets defrosting. All right, so what you want to do is mark where you're going to put the cuts. So you don't just start cutting, like crazy. You want to mark where you're going to cut so you can be sure that you're going to fit them all in. You don't want to be cutting crooked. All right, so that's what I've got. I'm just going to cut across like that. There. Now we have 3 6, and 9. Perfect. And we're going to do the same exact thing with the other sheet. But for now, we have this. So we've cut our pastry into 9 squares, and we're going to put a tablespoon of the cheese filling on each square. So we've taken our cheese filling and divided it in 2, just so we have enough for the other sheet of pastry. We're going to do this, just like that. We've got the cream cheese mixture on each square. We're going to just spread it out just a little bit so it's not a lump. So now we're going to take some jam, and this is seedless raspberry jam. We're going to put a little bit, a teaspoonful, on each of these blobs of cream cheese mixture, like this. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. All right, then we're going to seal up our pastries. So this is the tricky part. We want to use our egg wash to kind of seal the 2 corners. We're going to fold over the corners like this. One point, put some of the egg wash there, fold over the other end, and the egg wash will help hold it in place. These are great for like a brunch, you know, make a platter of these. They're also fun to make with kids. Kids love making these. They come out a lot messier, but they're still fun. And you can use any kind of jam you want. Doesn't have to be raspberry. And the last one. Like that. There's always one that doesn't behave right. Then we take the very same egg wash and we dip a pastry brush into it. Ta-da! And just give each pastry a little bath, a little wiping. There you go. Just to give it a little shine. It's like suntan lotion. So now they're going to be in the oven for 15 minutes, and we'll see you when they're done. All right, everyone. Now they're out of the oven, and this is what they look like. Aren't they beautiful? I forgot to mention that before they actually went in the oven, but after I put the egg wash on, I sprinkled each with a little bit of decorator sugar, white decorator sugar, coarse sugar. So it adds a little sparkle to them. Aren't they beautiful? And they puff up nice, and the cheese puffs up, and don't they look great? So I'll be back in a second when the second batch comes out of the oven. Surprise! Does that not look amazing? Look at that. Can you imagine serving that for a brunch? Oh, so I'm gonna taste one. Which one? Okay. Wow. I let them cool on a cooling rack for a few minutes after they came out of the oven. Let them sit on the tray, the baking sheet, for a few minutes, and then put them on a cooling rack. The puff pastry takes a few minutes to firm up. Oh, these are so good. The cream cheese filling really goes well with the jam. You won't be disappointed. See you next time. Bye.